Hey guys, haven't made a video for a little bit, thought this would be a good opportunity. Anyone who's been following the price of Bitcoin will notice that we've had a bad night, a big pullback. We're down nearly probably 10% from where we were. That's because of news. So if you're not aware yet, there's a new variant of COVID come out in South Africa and it spooked the market. The first indication of this is the S&P 500 closes down 2.3% as variant spooks investors. What tends to happen is these big funds have exposure to the S&P 500 and to Bitcoin, and they tend to sell both when they get spooked. So you can see here, right here would have been when the news event happened, and it's dropped out. It tends to, whatever happens to the S&P 500 tends to happen to Bitcoin because we haven't fully uncoupled yet. What that does provide is a good buying opportunity. Bitcoin's still in a solid uptrend. I'll explain that in a minute. But if you have a look at all these different cryptos, they're all down significant amounts. And there's some crap ones in there and there's some good ones. But if you've had your eye on something and you've just been waiting to get in, now's perfect times. For instance, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, they're all down heaps and they're all solid projects. And Bitcoin, it's down a solid amount. It's probably going to be 60 grand by the end of next week. There's heaps of opportunities here. Just whatever you were looking at, just have another look. There's some that are still up on a weekly basis just because they've had such a big run, like Decentraland, which is doing really well. Anything that's in what they refer to as the metaverse space is doing really well at the moment. But find one that you like and decide if you want to buy it or not. We'll have a look at this chart. What you can see here are descending wedges. It just pretty much Bitcoin likes break into the upside out of a descending wedge. It's done it twice here and it's about to do a third time with a bit of luck. But in history, it has a habit of doing it. Like here's one. It's just how Bitcoin works. As you can see here, a descending wedge is when you are downtrending and you have a little level of support, a level of resistance, and it bounces off these lines and it tightens up. And when it tightens up, that means you're going to get a movement in either direction. Descending wedges have like a 70% chance of breaking to the upside. So you can see here we've come down, we've bounced, and then we've broken through. We've had a good run. For instance, that run there went from at the bottom 29. So we'll measure from the top. It's broken out at 32, and it's gone all the way up to 52 before it started to see a retracement. That's not a bad run. That's a $20,000 run. If you look at this pattern, with a bit of luck, if we break through on the positive side of this, that'll be a really good indication that we're about to go on another good run. Two ways of buying this is FOMO into it and buy it now while it's cheap, maybe. Wait for it to come back up and break through this level of support resistance just here. That's up to you on what you want to do. Also, you'll see this trend line here. This is just a ascending trend line or uptrending trend line. It's just showing a level of support where Bitcoin seems to be bouncing off. So you hit it once here, you've hit it twice here. We're currently hitting it at the moment. If Bitcoin respects this trend line, or if this trend line means shit, it'll bounce back up and keep going. And as I was saying before, if you think you can buy the bottom or buy the top, you're sort of dreaming. All you can really do is trade in the right direction. And the direction at the moment is an uptrend. Is it going to be turned into a downtrend? Maybe, but you'd be doing well to pick it. And what I mean by that is the trend is a trend until it's not. So until you have confirmation that we're not in a uptrend anymore, then I wouldn't have a I wouldn't be putting a sell trade in. So if you don't think we're in an uptrend anymore, just zoom out a little bit. Your bigger time frames will give you more solid data. The shorter the time frames, the more sporadic they are. So if we look here, we've got the weekly chart, and it shows it all the way back. What's it like down here? It's like 3,500, and realistically, that wasn't that long ago. So you can see here, uptrend, bear market, uptrend. Simple as that. Is this the point in time where we go into a bear market? Well, it may be, but at the moment it's not. We need to see it form lower lows and lower highs. So to decide a trend, that's pretty much what it's doing. So an uptrend is a low, a higher high, a higher low, and a higher high again. And then hopefully this forms a higher low. That confirms your uptrend. There's a whole heap of different indicators on these charts that you can use, and they can tell you different things, but they all tend to be lagging indicators, and depending on how you look at them, they can just confirm your bias. So if you go into it with a positive bias, then you're going to see a positive outcome. If you go with a negative bias, you're going to find a negative outcome. That's all just interpretation. Why do we look at these charts? Well, these charts are pretty much just the human emotion that goes on in the market. That's what's moving the market. It's humans trading, and you're just trying to pick what the overall consensus is. So what all the other traders are thinking. There's no magic computer that makes up these numbers. It's all just people on the other side of the world trying to make money, and there's people with a bearish mindset and they're selling, and there's people who think it's going to keep going up and they're buying, and then you've got what you call a whale or whales who are trying to manipulate the market. So I'll stop fucking around with that. They'll do what they can to push it down, push it up, do whatever benefits them. So if they can, like at the moment, yes, the market got spooked, they might use that as a catalyst to put a big sell order in right as soon as that news comes out. Not because they want to sell Bitcoin, because they want to buy it cheaper. So they would have sold it at, say, 57,000. Everyone else sees a big whale who's selling millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, because everybody tracks all this data. They're going, oh shit, it's all going on now. So everyone sells. It drops down to 53. That whale goes, oh, yep, I'm buying back in. And he's just increased his position by 6%. This happens a lot, and there's probably a lot of workings behind the scenes between these big whales to consolidate their efforts. But that doesn't really mean shit. We're just little fish, and we can just try to get whatever's on the side. But stay positive. It's not over yet. We're not in a bear market. There's still plenty of money to be made. I'm going to come out with a few real speculative trades pretty soon for those who like the gambling side. When I say that, I mean like 10x sort of gains. Cardano is one of them. I'll go show you some others. Meta Hero. It's essentially what they do. They scan objects and put them into the metaverse in real world sizings. They're a huge outsider. So we're looking like rank 2,783. And so they have not taken off yet. Their market cap is 658 million. Sounds like a lot of money. It's in the crypto world, it's not. That number can be moved very easily. So if the market comes in and puts another $1 billion into it, you've friggin' won 2x. You're just 1.5, 2x. Yeah, that's how it works. What's another one? CryptoMon. So these are all really small projects that are right on the outside, but they're showing good profits. And a lot of these I've already doubled my money on, or tripled in some cases. It doesn't take very long to make profit on these, but it can also go south very fast. So I don't put much money into them. I'll put like maybe $500, $1,000 on an outsider, and I'll just sort of leave it. If it goes good, it goes good. If it goes bad, it gives a shit. it's normally money that I've made from other projects that I'll put into it. So say I make 10 grand or something, I'll be like, oh, fuck it, I'll put $1,000 to the side that can go on one of these random outsiders. And even though a random outsider, you're taking a gamble, you still do all your research. You still go to their web pages, find out what they're all about, get on YouTube, see what research other people have done, because they'll tell you everything you need to know, just about. Normally they'll be trying to shill the product themselves, but you can also they'll give you a lot of information. But yeah, I'll do a video on that soon, because I know everybody wants to be told what to buy. I'm bad for it too. But in saying that, this isn't financial advice. Buy on your own decision. Don't buy because somebody else says to buy it. If somebody suggests something, have a look at it. But yeah, otherwise just buy whatever the fuck you want. Alright, I'll talk to you soon.